Hello, people of Art 110 for the last time. This is my P12 video blog. So, this week our project was to make a fake person online, basically, or at least, I don't know, counterfactual identity as a title has a bit of a different connotation. But sorry, can't talk. First question here is, after having spent the week in another identity's shoes, talk about what it was like. It was kind of lonely. When you don't have, like, real-world connections for that person, it's hard to find a community online. Because, I don't know, at least on Facebook, a lot of those people are, are actual people that you know in real life. I had a hard time getting people to friend my character, I guess you'd call her. And I don't know, it was just kind of odd. It's like you create this person, you put them out there, and you try to connect them to other people, but it was kind of solitary. I don't know, I guess in general I'm more of a real world person. Like, I like Reddit and Facebook and stuff, but on Reddit there's already, like, discussions going about things that people are commonly interested in, so there's kind of community in that way. But with Facebook, it's more actual people, so it's hard to make your way into a group there if you don't, like, know people and hang out with people. My thoughts on social media, well, there were some of them, but I think, with email, obviously, that's like the most direct form of communication. It's either most personal or most business-like to me. I don't really email with people I don't know well, or who I am not communicating with, like, in terms of employment or something of that nature, or if I'm doing, like, an internship, then they'll email me, or if it's, like, for a class, that's kind of either end of the spectrum. Facebook, mainly people I already know, people who I'm getting together with socially, I don't know, friends who I know, like the same things that I do, and that I'm, sharing things from the internet with them. Then Tumblr, I don't know, I feel like Tumblr is one of the things where it's a lot of anonymity, so people are more comfortable sharing more personal ideas, experiences, art, photographs, whatever. Because I follow a fair amount of people on Tumblr, and my character follows a fair amount of people on Tumblr, but there's a lot of, obviously people don't go by their real names on sites like Tumblr, but at least for the most part. But a lot of the stuff is really personal, or it's art, which to me is really personal. Unless it's like an anonymous situation where, like, I don't know the people that I'm giving it to, or it's a very personal situation where I know the person really well, I'm not that willing to put my stuff out there, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm afraid. I'm afraid of other people. People can be mean. People can take things the wrong way, judge you harshly, stuff like that. But when it's in a classroom, gosh, that's hard. I've taken some art classes here. I was an animation major for a bit, and having people critique your work sometimes is really disappointing. I don't know. There are some times when I was like, "Yay, I did well," and it's really exciting to get the approval of your peers. But when it's bad, it's really bad. not enjoyable at all. Okay, so there's 3 social media forms, at least on the internet. Well, those were the 3 that I created, the main 3 that I created for my character. But personally, I also use Reddit. I like Reddit. When you're like a lurker on Reddit, and you're just looking at stuff and things that other people have posted, and you're like, oh, that's so cool. It's really fun. But then sometimes when you actually post stuff and you get ripped to shreds, it's not that fun. But sorry, little tangent there. But I don't know. It's one of those things of like, I don't know. People on Reddit have surprisingly high standards for internet people. It's like if you have a grammatical error, you best edit fast or just go hide in a cave for a while, because you're going to get downvoted into oblivion. But I don't know. I think it's one of my favorite social media sites just because a lot of the discussions that go on there people actually care about, as opposed to like, people putting up stuff on Facebook like eating pancakes with the family. No, like, I mean, it's nice to hear about, but not that many people actually care whether or not you're eating pancakes with your family. Whereas like on Reddit you get a lot of like social problem posts, you get a lot of world news posts, you get a lot of things that are really funny that so a surprising amount of people relate to personally, which I find is really interesting. It kind of makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside that there are other people out there who think like I do. Okay, so moving on to the next question. So, or rather, recap of social media. I like Reddit. A lot of other social media on the internet feels a little vapid. Tumblr's good, but it's really anonymous. I feel like people on Reddit, because you have a lot of discussion forums going on, they get to know you a bit better, and it's, I don't know, anonymously engaging. Okay, so actually, next question. Can a person exist only on the internet? I don't think so. At least not in a very genuine way. I feel like well, maybe. Sorry, I'm just like my brain's catching up with the question. I think if a person were like sitting alone in a room and all they had was a computer and they had no other way of contacting the outside world, maybe. But if you like actually could go outside and talk to people and meet people and stuff, I think it's a really it would be existing only on the internet as an entity would be a really lame way to go through life, because there's so much beyond the internet. Crazy to say in a 21st century world, but there is. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like the really interesting stuff happens not on the internet. Crazy concept, I know. The whole thing about Second Life artists, though, I don't know. The difference is kind of inherent in the title of the program, Second Life. Not in First Life, but Second Life, as in it's not as important. I can see how people would feel like more themselves on the internet, because they have that Tumblr anonymity where they can share who they are mentally, spiritually, how they perceive themselves physically, or in regards to their gender, their sexuality, whatever. But when it comes down to it, we're actual people, and I think it's a lot more effective to live in the real world. Otherwise, I don't know what happens if your computer breaks. Just saying. What happens to you if there's no more electricity? You are stuck with you and yourself and the people around you, and it does not become a pretty world if you do not like the person who you are here. Just saying. Okay, sorry. I don't know why I'm blanking so bad right now. Tuesday's lecture. um, yeah, no, I got nothing. God, for the life of me, I cannot remember. Sorry. See you guys in class?